Alright guys, well welcome to the C2 indicator video. If you haven't watched the video before it, please don't skip ahead, just go back, watch that. There's also another video outlining the process we use with a JITBit macro recorder to get these kind of results. That's called backtesting an EA across 28 pairs in under an hour. Another video I did, so please make sure you watch that before you move on. And let's go ahead and jump right in where we left off. So I already have a C2 in mind. We're going to go with solar wind for this one. And again, these aren't the best C1, C2s. They just work for this algo, and it gives you a pretty base area, something that you can beat. So first, before we throw in the solar wind stuff, let's go to FXSniper. I am going to unclick this box, input 2, and change the value to 6. That means that when we test for the next round, it's going to set that value to 6. It's going to ignore everything past here, and we don't have to worry about it. We can leave this value the same. Start, we're going to do 20. And the stop is going to be 40. And then we're going to want to hit input 3. And let's find out what we are going to use for solar wind. Control F, solar, 10 and 2. And I've already gone through this a whole bunch of times, but you want to look at, for the C2, it looks like we only have 2 choices. I know the smoothing kind of moves stuff around a bit. The period is what we really want to focus on. The weird thing is that if I was to run through this as a C1, and I've done this with a whole bunch of different indicators to where I have my master list, I've got it filled, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to take these settings for this C1's, these settings for this C2, and just combine them. Almost all the time, that does not work out too well. Not quite sure why. Maybe it's because I'm focusing more on faster and slower to medium. Slow settings kind of work better as a C2. I'm not sure why. Alright, so I'm going to go with changing the first setting to input 3, and I'm just going to leave the second one as default. If you want to change that when you're testing whatever indicators you are, you can. I try to keep these passes a little bit lower. As the algo continues after baseline, I typically try to do a sharp drop off of all the parameters that I try to test. So input number 3, I'm just going to do the same thing as before, to where step of 1 up to 100. And I'm just going to keep it at that and see where it takes us. I'm going to go here, go back to my blank. I'm going to do CC, FXSniper plus solar, 17 to 19, and we will see what comes out of it. Okay, so here we have the data for the FXSniper plus solar wind C1 C2 combination. Right off the bat, it looks pretty decent. We've got the highest is 17.5K, lowest is negative 7.7K. Same thing applies to this as what we were looking for with the C1 indicator, in that we want the win rate to be higher than just the C1. We want to eliminate losses and get better profits. So we're going to go over here and we're going to sort everything by win rate. Okay, so we've got it sorted by win rate now. If you remember from the C1 when we were talking about it, the profit total isn't always going to match up with the highest amount of win rate. Even looking at past 1207, you can see 11.7K, 67.43% win rate. There's actually more profit to be had down here at 67.02% with 834 trades, and that's because you're getting an average of close to 30 versus an average of about 18 trades per pair every 3 years. So the more trades you have, the higher profit's going to be. At this point, I would probably say let's just take the highest one right here, so 67.02, because that's not too much of a difference. If it was like the difference between 67.02 and it was 17.5 and then 15.9 up here, and this was like 69%, then I'd probably go with the higher win rate. But this one's so close, we're just going to go for the highest one. So we're going to copy it, go over to our master algo hunt tab or sheet. We already did it with a C1. C1 and C2 go over here, Control Shift V. That's going to paste just the data. And then we're just going to want to put indicators FXSniper plus solar. And then we will copy, lagging a little bit, copy that link over. Okay, so at this point, you may have, you should take that FXSniper and try like Solar Wind, try Ash, try Arun up down, try SSL, try a whole bunch of different indicators and put all of your favorite results in here, and then you just kind of go with what you feel is going to be the best and move on from there. We're just doing FXSniper plus Solar, so that's what we're going to move on to. The third step will be doing a standard deviation sheet, which we talked about in my previous video. So what we're going to end up doing is running the same exact FXSniper plus Solar set file across 2017, 2018, 2019, and we will even do 2020, and I'll get to why we do that a little bit later. So what I'm going to do is go over here, expert properties. This is what we just did. I am going to save it. Go to my shared file over here. We haven't done anything for this yet, so I'm going to make a new folder that's just called YouTube. And now I'm going to change the name to CC FXSniper plus Solar. Cool. So for this one, we're going to do 2017 to 2018. Now I've already loaded up a bunch of other VMs. So we've got YouTube 1, 2, 3, and 4 because we're going to do 4 years. So let me just open these guys up. Let them start moving. I can start over here, go to the blank one. And typically what I'll do when I'm doing the multi-years is that I'll do something like CC FXSniper plus Solar 201. So that way I can just copy that, make a copy 2017. Okay. Gonna go over here. Expert properties. We're gonna go to load. YouTube, load that up. Blank 3K pass. Copy that for 2018. Over here, do the same thing, load. File, make a copy, 2019. And sorry if I'm going a little bit quick. It's really just the same thing going over and over again, but I've done this a whole bunch of times, so I am pretty used to it. We're going to do this one as 2020. Going back over, we're going to set the dates here. We already did 2017 to 2018. Come back over here, 2018 to 2019. 2019 to 2020, good. And then 2020. And even though we're not in 2021 yet, it'll just go, this will just run until the data runs out. So basically today is 7/18, so it'll go until July 18th. Well, a couple days back because it's the weekend, so nothing's trading. Okay, I did load here. So that's pretty much it. Everything's good to go. All I gotta do is hit the start button on all 4 of these VMs, and it is going to start running through everything. Yeah, so I'll check back on this tomorrow. I'm going to let it run overnight, and then we will compile the data and take a look at it. All right, guys, so here we are. We've got all the data from 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020 for what it's worth for right now. So I would have normally just thrown it in and we would look at the sheet, but I've gotten a lot of questions about exactly what my process is, how I copy stuff, so I'm just going to show you on one of them. So again, as a refresher, go up to the upper left-hand corner, copy. Once that's done, we're going to go over to the standard deviation sheet. I named it STO-CC, FXSniper plus Solar Wind. We're going to go to the 2017 tab, right-click, and you want to paste values only, Control-Shift-V. You don't want to paste anything else, otherwise it's just going to throw in the formulas and it's just not going to work. So it takes a little bit to go, and there is the first one. I'm going to skip ahead and do the next couple. All right, so I put in 2017, 2018, 2019. We're leaving out 2020 for now. It's not complete. I'll get to it later. And what we're going to do is we are going to sort by profit standard deviation. We're going to hit sort A to Z. There we go. And right off the bat, I will say you really don't have to go with the lowest one. Depending on your sample size, how tight your settings are that you're trying to optimize, sometimes you'll see this and it'll be like, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and it'll be really low. You don't have to go with the lowest setting. I would say anything under 1,000 if would probably be good for this range. So typically I'll just kind of go from the top, and I see a lot of 6s and 5s. Let's see. Keep scrolling down. There's a decent one, 959. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that, go over to information and Control-Shift-V to do the data only, and put that over there. Now I'm going to come back. Over here is 8.9. That's another good one. 9.1, that's close. And here we go. We're getting into the... Let's do this one. That one doesn't look too bad. That's starting to go down again. That's right up there towards the end, so and that's, I'll pretty much call it there. That's a few to test out. If we want to look to see what the highest ones were, profit overall, we get to this section over here, and it's like, in my opinion, this is where it's way too overly optimized for profit, because you're going to see 5K, 10K, and then 2019 is just showing like nothing. And I know it was a low volume year, but it really shouldn't be that bad. All right, now, typically what I'll do, and again, this is if you have really great indicators, you'll see this. I specifically chose these two because they're good, but they're not great, because I want to give you guys the ability to beat it. 2020 really wasn't a good year for any of these guys. And what I can do is basically 2020, copy all this data, I'm going to paste the values only, go back to the standard sheet. And the good thing is that it's organizing it by only the first 3 years, and then 2020 is just kind of being a bonus that we can look at. And I can tell you already right off the bat, looking at 2020, that these two indicators really didn't give too great results. I mean, it's kind of like the 2019. You get 3.9K, 1.3K. And to be fair, this is only about halfway through the year, so we're not expecting these numbers to match. We just kind of want them to be close. But just scrolling through, I could tell you that overall, it's not really... I just don't like them. There are a lot of combinations of indicators where you'll go through and 2020 will be positive. This just isn't one of them. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the ones we had. 959. That one's a little bit low. Not really liking that. Let's see. 1438. Really not liking that one. Mainly because you're already beating 2018, losing more than you gained in that 1 year. So, not a fan. 1165. It's close. You're not quite beating it. We had one other that we wanted to look at. 766. And that one's not too bad. I'll tell you though, out of the four, I'll probably just go with where was it? Number 959. It's got the least amount of loss out of the ones we picked for 2020, but it's not really a crazy deciding factor. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete this one because I don't want to use it. Maybe I'll put it down here to kind of save it in case I wanted to look at it. Same with that one. So these are the two that I want to go with. I want to go with 959. I want to go with past 1165. So in the next video, we're going to be throwing in the baseline. I did both of these, 959 and 1165. 1165 for 2020, none of the baselines really jived with it. Whereas with past 959, we had some pretty good results. So when you get to this point, you'll probably be ending up testing a couple of different passes. There's no one size fits all. Some of them aren't going to work in the half year of 2020 that we got so far. So you're just going to probably go through 4 or 5 of them to get to the next step. All right, guys, so that's it for right now. We are going to be taking the 2 passes and running it through a whole bunch of different baselines. The good news is that it's really just using the all averages indicator to run through a whole bunch and pick out which ones we want to work with. So stay tuned. A couple days from now, that video is going to drop, and we're going to keep moving on. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click subscribe and like if you like the video. And yeah, that's it.